Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be playing Shelby Snell's bonus episodes today, and I know that there's more than one this time. There's 3 of them. I accidentally did one of Ryuki's last time and forgot to do the other 2, and then I had to make another video including the other 2. So we're going to be doing all 3 of his today. I feel like it's been forever since I've watched anything of Shelby, or played anything of Shelby. Sorry this video is taking so long to get out. It's the downside of playing multiple games, I guess. One day in the early afternoon, after finishing my usual jelly drink for lunch, I continued working.
では、先方にはそのように頼む。この件については以上だ。
かしこまりました。
それと、詳細が決まり次第追って話すが、近々新しい業務を頼むかもしれない。
はあ、新しい業務ですか。
Hearing this, Owen gave me a puzzled look. He looked at me expectantly for details, but the words were lodged in my throat. Oh. Yesterday, I tasked the top bridal advisor with a certain project. I needed her to coordinate matchmaking for the Parasite 5, which included myself. Get these 5 people married, do that, and the promotion is yours. You're the Cupid of Cupid Corp, are you not? Our top bridal advisor. I trust this is within your ability. After that, I entrusted her with the Parasite 5. In reality, I had concealed my inclusion in the group. Yet she accepted the challenge with enthusiasm. I won't let you down. I'll get started right away. She appeared dependable, which brought me some relief.
だが、私もよくもまああんなことを言ったものだ。
This is like right at the beginning of the last game before they even do Parasite House.
バレるわけにはいかなかったからな。あの時は自信満々に言い放ったが。
Get me married. My heart was pounding and I broke out into a cold sweat, worried about the identity of Monsieur S.A. being exposed. I convinced her to proceed without raising any doubts.
データをまとめ次第、それぞれの会員にメールにて連絡をすると言ってくれていたが。
Something else that concerned me was the interview she mentioned.
面談か。できればそれだけはなしに婚活を進めたいものだが。
Suddenly I heard a notification from my Monsieur S.A. account. I could immediately feel the wrinkle between my brow deepen as I read the proposed interview dates. She passively noted that without my participation in the interview, she couldn't assist me further.
電話での面談を頼むか。いや、声でバレるはずだ。最近のボイスチェンジャーは精度も高いと聞くが。
社長？どうされましたか？
My obvious grimace made my secretary Owen suspicious. I had no choice. It seemed like I would have to proceed as originally planned.
先ほど話していた頼みたい新しい業務についてなのだが。
Go to the interview for me.
オーウェン。まず、私が婚活をしていることはお前も知っているな。
はあ、まあ、存じておりますが。
Being my secretary, he was aware of my marital status, ensuring smoother work operations. Only he and Dev, who portrayed me as the loving husband president, were in on the secret.
てっきり、もうご結婚は諦められていたのかと思っておりました。
確かに何もせずに放置していたのは事実だ。
It was my fault for not being more proactive, but years went by without any offers.
その間に何度かメールにてアドバイザーとのやり取りはあったが。
Due to our disagreements, I was labeled the prestige parasite.
だが、成婚率は我が社の評判にも関わってくるし、不都合も生じてきているからな。いよいよ本気を出そうと思ったのだ。そこで先日、トップブライダルアドバイザーに昇格した彼女に相談して 婚活を再開することにした。匿名でだ。
はあ、匿名でですか。それはすごいですね。
そうだな。そんなことができれば画期的だな。私の理想は一度も会わずに成婚することだからな。
Ideally.
おお、会わずに成婚ですか。すごいですね。
いや、これは理想の話だ。できるという話ではない。
あれ、そうなのですか。
あ、なあ。実際それではダメだと彼女からこのように連絡が来てな。
I showed Owen the email. After reading it, he grasped the gravity of the situation.
対面かオンラインでの面談、それができなければ大会を進めるですか。
ああ。ここまできっぱり言われたのは初めてだ。さすがは1年でトップブライダルアドバイザーに上り詰めただけはある。
それでこれが私に何の関係が。
ああ。それだが。
You're my new representative. Sweat dripped down my neck once more. I could almost imagine his disdain already. But I had to make this request to get married discreetly.
お前に代理を頼みたいのだ。
え？どなたにですか？
He glanced around as if expecting someone else to appear.
いや、オーウェン。お前だ。
私に。
Ellen pointed at me, then at himself. I nodded in response.
なあ、そうだ。お前に頼みたいのだ。
はあ、私に何を？
婚活の代理だ。
He's blushing.
代理？婚活の？
The fact that there's no music and they're tiptoeing around this subject is really entertaining.
ああ。この S 氏の代理人という形で彼女と面談をしてもらいたい。
After telling him everything, Owen stared at me blankly. A few moments passed before he exploded.
はい。何言ってるんですか、社長。
無理は承知だ。だが他に方法がない。
いや、きっと何かありますって。一緒に考えましょう。はい。
そうか。そうだよな。他に方法があるはず。あるか。
バーチャルシェルビー社長を作りましょう。大丈夫です。これから 3D モデリングを勉強します。
3D modeling.
なるほど、それはいいな。
That's actually really hard. I went to school for 3D modeling.
でしょう。ビジュアルが違えば案外バレないでいけるはずですよ。大丈夫。きっと1年もあれば作れます。
I can make it in a year.
いや、待ってくれ、すまない。冷静に考えて面談に間に合わない。
あ。
1年も面談を待ってもらっては担当アドバイザーの彼女に叱られ見捨てられるだろうな。そもそもこれ以上は先延ばしにできないから婚活を再開しようと思っていたんだった。バーチャルシェルビーの件は一旦忘れよ
う。ではモザイクをかけましょう。で、声も加工して。
Filter. Oh my god. Are you serious? Okay, even with a blur filter, that obviously is Shelby. Like, it'd have to be really blurred.
っていや、これでは犯罪者だ。少なくとも成婚できそうには見えないぞ。
I know, right? Yeah, criminal Shelby.
間違いなく私でしたら 絶対に話したくないと思いますね。
私もだ。
ですが、シェルビー社長が素顔で婚活すれば大変なバッシングを受けること間違いなしですよね。
我が社のスキャンダルを心待ちにしている同業他社はいくらでもいるからな。顧客を欺いてきたのかと叩かれるだろう。ということで、すまないが、やはり代理で婚活を頼めないだろうか。
いやいや、でも無理ですよ。私は婚活に向いている人間じゃないんです。
別に婚活をしてもらうわけではない。婚活中の S 氏の代理人として面談に出てもらうだけだ。
そもそも私、どのようなご結婚をされたいのか存じ上げないのですが。
それについては後ほど文面にしてまとめておく。目を通してくれ。
はあ、なんだか打ち合わせに代理で向かうような感じですね。
まさにそのような感じで頼みたい。お前に負担をかけて申し訳ないが、これしか方法はないんだ。正当な報酬を支払うと約束する。普段の業務の妨げにならないよう細心の注意を払おう。無理を言っているのは重々承知の上での頼みだ。お前の要望は可能な限り叶えると約束する。これは社運をかけたプロジェクトだ。だからすまない、オーウェン。私の代理を頼む。
No pressure. I knew it was unreasonable, but I bowed as I pleaded with Owen.
はあ、まあそれでしたら。
やってくれるか。
まあ私としてもうちの会社に妙な噂が立つのは困りますし、それにまずはアドバイザーである彼女との面談だけですもんね。でしたら大丈夫だと思います。
すまない、助かった。では面談の日程を決めるとしよう。
はい。
After our talk, Owen and I set the interview date and contacted her. But at the time, I had no idea what was coming. That the Parasite 5 would be featured on a TV program. I know, that was really entertaining. Alright, episode 2. That evening, I drove alone and reflected on the day's events. The project she pitched, 5-star challenge Cooking with Fire, was copied by a Roman Julie wedding. Her colleagues accused her of plagiarism, blaming her.
だが、なんとかできそうでよかった。
Also before they started dating, officially. Her resilience was unmatched. We made a substitute plan and refined it so nothing would be delayed.
今もあまり根を詰めていないといいのだが。
They are living together as a contracted couple, though. She's playing to be his wife in this one. I looked up at the Cupid Corp building from the car and saw that the lights were still shining on the office floor. I knew her shift ended at 11 p.m. and we planned to leave together. Since she adjusted to my needs and extended her workday, I wanted to at least drive her home.
だが。
The thought of her beside me made my heart race more each day. I hadn't felt this way before. Perhaps it started when I nearly kissed her as she adjusted my tie. I know, that was like the iconic turning point of his feelings.
参ったな。
I sighed and rested my forehead on my hands, which gripped the steering wheel. It was clear that my mental state had deteriorated spending time with her. I couldn't bring myself to push her away, and it wasn't just because of work. It was comforting to be with her. It was more than just comforting. Other feelings were arising in me. Whenever she felt down, I wanted to offer words of encouragement. When she was in pain, I wanted to be the one she relied on. I realized those desires earlier today, when she cried in front of me. Aww, I remember that. In the office.
お前には話がある。ついてこい。
That was a really sad moment. While her coworkers blamed her, I beckoned her over, hoping to resolve the situation. That was when her expression firmed. She looked as though she was expecting a scolding. Yes. Ideally, I wanted to reassure her, to tell her that everything would be okay. But doing so would harm her in the long run, especially with the other employees watching. I straightened up as I made my way to the elevator. Upon reaching my office, I closed the door and faced her. She appeared on the brink of tears. Her concept had been copied by a rival company, and now her own colleagues accused her of plagiarism.
辛かっただろうな。
Knowing she was distressed, I offered to assist her in revisiting the project proposal. Tears formed in her eyes. Her face was flushed from crying, and I was caught off guard by her appearance. Seeing my reaction, she seemed to regain her composure. Sorry, I shouldn't be crying. I have to keep at it. She held back her tears and tried her best to smile. I'll do my best to revamp the plan. Thank you so much for defending me earlier. She bowed and was about to leave. Something about that looked so adorable that I grabbed her arm without thinking.
そう急ぐな。話があると言っただろう。
All I wanted was to offer her words of encouragement. But when she didn't lean on me and instead put on a brave smile, I felt an overwhelmingly urge to hold her close. Lost for words, I caught the scent of her perfume and I cradled her head against my shoulder. The only thing on my mind was that I didn't want her to be sad.
一人で落ち込んで欲しくないだけだ。
This is so sweet. I knew she would always put on a brave face, never letting others see her downcast. She would always try to bounce back independently. But I was her husband, even if our bond was fake and forged by a contract. I didn't want to see her suffer alone. I wanted to be a pillar of strength for her. It was then that I tried to muster words of comfort. I let her know that it was better for her to cry after what happened, and that she should stay here until she felt better. She listened to each and every word as she gripped the edge of my suit. President, thank you for coming. The sound of her voice while she clung to me left me breathless.
よかった。取り返しがつかなくなる前にあの場にいられて。
Had I not been there, I might have remained oblivious to the unfolding issues. I would have been consumed by regret over my absence.
そして彼女を守れなかった自分を許せないと思っていたはずだ。今も悔しいのだから。
Listening to his inner thoughts on this makes me want to go and rewatch this episode. My teeth clenched in frustration as I lamented my inability to prevent the theft of her proposal. Even in her despair, she hesitated to lean too heavily on me. I patted her head gently when I sensed the tremors in her shoulders. Witnessing her fight back against tears evoked a whirlwind of emotions within me.
私の前ではもっと甘えてくれればいいのにな。
Yeah, but you gotta realize that it's probably awkward for her. Yeah, she's in a contract to be your wife, but you're her boss. Like, I would be really hesitant to get too close to my boss, too. Rather than holding back her tears, she should cry to let out her anguish and sorrow. I had often leaned on her for support. I yearned for her to rely on me, too, especially in moments like these.
今は思い切り泣け。私がそばにいる。私だけはお前を裏切らない。どうか信じてくれ。
I made that pledge in my heart as I pulled her into a tighter embrace. Her sobbing grew louder. She held onto me as tears flowed. It was the first time she had ever let her guard down so fully. Desiring to offer comfort, I simply stayed by her side. I hoped the warmth of my embrace could offer her some solace.
だが、そこからの気持ちの切り替えようはさすがと言うべきだったな。
Perhaps crying had helped her regain her composure. Afterwards, she suggested very alternative proposals. Her ideas were brilliant. I genuinely enjoyed our back and forth as we refined the plans. I learned how fun it could be to collaborate with somebody.
仕事が楽しいなどと人に言えば、チーパラサイトなんてまた言われてしまうのだろうが。
Deep down, I knew she would never think that of me. It felt miraculous to trust someone so deeply. That's probably why time felt so slow while I was waiting for her. I was restless. Glancing at the clock, it was only 11:05. My phone buzzed with a new message from her. It said that she would be about 6 minutes late.
では今頃エレベーターに乗っている頃か。
Her precision in specifying 6 minutes instead of a general 5 showcased her meticulous nature. I quickly replied back and pocketed my phone. Just then, I thought I caught a whiff of her perfume. Looking out the car window, I suspected to see her approaching, but the view revealed no such sight. I was still alone.
変だな。確かに彼女の香りがしたと思ったのだが。
Then it hit me. The aroma lingered on my sleeve. That's funny. My face burned. Her perfume must have rubbed off on me earlier that day when we hugged. I was so engrossed in work that I hadn't noticed all day. But because I was waiting for her now, it stood out.
袖についていたのは予想外だ。
I blushed, wondering if the other employees had noticed the scent.
って待て。他の人間が彼女の香りを知っているはずないだろう。
Only if they're interested in her like you are. Nobody but me could have gotten this close to her. After having that thought, I gasped. I mean, even if you're walking by and a fan's blowing, you can still smell it, right? I wasn't aware of any of her relationships. It was quite conceited of me to think that I knew her solely because I recognized her scent. But a part of me wished it were true. I wanted her scent, her tears, her everything to be mine.
何を考えているんだ、私は。
Oh, really? I placed a hand over my forehead, trying to calm myself. I took deep breaths and steadied my nerves. Can you imagine if he acted on these feelings during his route? Like, that would have been so entertaining. But he just kept himself at bay, like, the whole time. He never acted upon it. And she had to yell at him while she was drunk to finally move things forward. It was so annoying. But even after that, I still felt like she was nearby. The warmth of her touch, her gentle scent, I felt like she was right next to me.
重症だな。
Yes, you are. I'd crossed the line, but I couldn't let myself overthink, especially since we still lived together. I'm sorry I'm late. The passenger door opened and she got in as usual. She sat down and fastened her seatbelt. When she looked at me, all traces of her earlier sadness had vanished.
いや、そこまで待っていないから気にするな。夕飯は食べたか？
Things got hectic and I didn't get the chance to.
そうか。実は私もだ。遅いからあまり食べるのは質の良い睡眠に影響するが、少しだけ軽く食べて帰るか。
Really? Are you sure?
ああ、今日ぐらいはな。
I tried to offer her some words of encouragement and she responded with a smile. Her genuine emotions always made me want to make her happier.
本当に重症だな。
He's so adorable. I wish I hadn't discovered this side of me. My life had always been about efficiency, but perhaps deep down I had always yearned for this kind of life. Now that I knew it, I couldn't shake it off.
では、行くとしよう。
I started the car. She remained seated beside me. My focus was on her as I drove. That was so cute. I know, when the contract was, quote, over, I guess it was over, no quotes, but still, whenever it was over, because he came out and said that he was not married and that little misunderstanding was cleared up. He didn't want the contract to be over. He really wanted her to say that she wanted to stay, and she really wanted to stay, but she was afraid because he never made any of his he never made any of his emotions clear, any of his feelings clear. And then there was misunderstandings, and then they got mad at each other. It just went downhill from there. Anyway, bonus episode 3. Supposed to get a CG in one of these, right? Like, I thought I was, anyway. Maybe that should do it. Looks like they're married in this one. Today, Shelby and I worked from home. Or maybe not. Although it was the weekend, we had a lot to do. They got married at the end of the route, so I guess not. We both wanted to get in the work mindset, so we were at home on 8th Avenue instead of the one on 1st Avenue. I believe I was almost done with my work. I glanced at Shelby, who seemed to have made good progress. He closed his laptop and stretched.
なんとか終わったな。コーヒーでも入れてくる。お前も飲むか？
Yes, please.
Ah.
Okay, definitely married. He got off the sofa and lightly kissed me on the forehead. Then he walked over to the kitchen. Oh, Shelby. I touched the spot where he kissed me, and as I watched him. In the past, I used to blush awkwardly whenever we kissed. Now it seemed like a daily routine for him. He boiled water in the Bermuda pot and cranked the hand mill to grind some coffee beans. As I enjoyed the aroma of freshly ground beans, I started the pour over. Oh, he started. Shelby was using the hand drip method for the coffee. I just use a Keurig, it's much easier. Both the pot and the grinder were purchased after our marriage. He once mentioned wanting a pot that boiled water at the perfect temperature, so he bought it. He made coffee for me even before we were married. But it wasn't as meticulous as this. Before our marriage, he seemed to prioritize speed. He wasn't the kind of person who wanted everything to be top-notch. Now he seemed to value these peaceful moments more. Overwhelmed with a surge of happiness, I sat by the counter and continued watching him.
どうした？
Nothing, just admiring how good you look.
そうか。
I see. He blushed but continued preparing the coffee with steady hands. Poured the water in a beautiful arc. Steam rose from the coffee grinds, releasing a fragrant aroma. He removed the pot as the contents finished pouring, then pulled out 2 mugs. Oh, these mugs. We had recently bought them. Our home was short on dinnerware, so we picked up matching mugs.
待たせたな。
Thanks, Shelby. I sipped the coffee, relishing its rich flavor. It was a dark roast that Shelby adored. I had grown fond of it after we got married, too. We sat side by side, enjoying our coffee and the moment.
すまなかった。休日なのに仕事が終わらなくて。
It's alright. I'm just happy we got to work side by side.
そうか。
Shelby appeared relieved and smiled. Our shoulders touched as we sat back, savoring our coffee.
しかし、想定よりも早く仕事が終わってよかった。やはり、お前がそばにいるとはかどるな。
Is that so?
ああ、もちろん。お前に見とれそうになって集中できないこともあるけれどな。
He brushed a hand through my hair before touching my lips, still wet from coffee.
お前の仕事はもう終わりか。
Yes, how about you, Shelby?
ああ、だいたい終わったはずだ。
Shelby's phone suddenly chimed with a notification.
すまない。見ていいか。
Go ahead. Shelby always asked me before checking work emails, and I admired his considerate nature.
ありがとう。
He opened his laptop to check the email. He frowned deeply.
これは。
What's wrong?
ああ、それが私にスキーをしてほしいと連絡が来た。
Maybe this is where we get our CG. Skiing?
実は旅行会社とのタイアップが決まり、スキー場での婚活企画の話を進めていたんだがな。
Wow, that sounds exciting.
だろ？私としてもこの企画は成功させたい。だが、その広告写真のためにスケジュールを抑えていたスキーのできるモデルが骨折してしまったというんだ。
A bone fracture?
ああ、幸いそこまでひどい骨折ではないらしいが、さすがにスキーはさせられない。だが、決まっていた撮影日はあさってなんだ。カメラマンの手配も済んでいるし、スキー場を抑えてしまっている。先方も急いで代わりにスキーができるモデルを探してくれてはいるんだが、急なことで見つからないらしくてな。そこで私が大学の頃にスキーをしていたと話していたことを思い出したというんだ。
Are you SS in skiing? Shelby sighed, pressing a finger to his temple. I didn't know he skied in college. I only remembered that he did archery. He talked about wanting to master anything that he wasn't good at. So he tried skiing as well. He truly wanted to be SS at everything.
撮影日の延期は避けたいし、何よりスキーシーズンが始まる前に広告を打っておきたいからな。幸い、あさっての撮影には立ち会うつもりで打ち合わせを入れていなかったからいけなくはない。だが、私が代わりのモデルか。正直、あまり私が出しゃばってもと思うのだが。
I'm like, he really is going on a long ramble to get to the point of, we have to go replace them. I'd love to see you ski, Shelby.
そうか。
Yes, and if you change the photo shoot date, you'd cause trouble for the camera crew and ski resort staff. I believe you'll create a fantastic advertisement, Shelby. If he was that concerned, he could wear ski goggles. Only those close to him would recognize him. However, I secretly wanted to see Shelby captured in a professional photos, but I kept that sentiment to myself.
そうか。
I'm free the day after tomorrow, so I'll accompany you. Just think of it as a ski trip and embrace the modeling role.
お前と一緒に。
After realizing how eager I was to see him model, Shelby's eyes lit up.
それはいいアイディアだな。ならあさっては今日働いた分休みを取って行こう。それなら撮影後にお前と遊んでも構わないだろ。
I don't know if I can. I never skied before.
大丈夫だ。私が教える。
Shelby smiled confidently and began typing a reply. He quickly received an answer that said, "Thank you for accepting. Please bring the missus." Yes, please. On the day of the photo shoot, fortunately we had great weather, making it perfect to take photos. Relieved that everything would proceed as scheduled, we boarded a plane to the ski resort. Then the photo shoot, featuring Shelby as the model, began. There it is. Wow, he's impressive.
いいですね。そこでターンお願いします。
It's quite the action pose there, huh?
ああ、
Shelby executed a graceful turn, sending a spray of sunlit snow into the air.
いいですね。そのままそのまま。
こうか。
ああ、それです。
So excited. The photographer was pumped and compliments rained down on Shelby.
いやー、旦那さんすごいですね。スキーがお得意だと聞いたので、さすがに無茶ぶりではとは思いつつお願いしてみたんですが、まさかここまでお上手だとは。プロ級じゃないですか。
He said he perfected his skills in college.
大学の頃の経験でまだここまで滑られるんですね。いや、さすがです。
Everyone was in awe of Shelby's skill. It was an absolute joy to watch. After skiing down, he'd ride the lift up and start over.
じゃあ次は笑顔をお願いします。
笑顔か。
はい、これ CC とのタイアップですから、甘い感じの笑顔をお願いします。ほら、奥様も声をかけてあげてください。
If you involve her, everyone's definitely gonna know it's you. Huh? It was true that the photo of Shelby smiling would be a great advertisement. I waved at Shelby. Shelby, you're doing great. I yelled as loud as I could as Shelby broke into a grin.
スキーも SS だ。
Even skiing, I am SS.
完璧です。じゃあ次はアクロバティックな感じの構造。
I think he says that every single time he does something cool. Like whenever he shot the gun out of Owen's hand, he said, I am all SS. In the casino, I think he said it too. Or maybe I just put that on my thumbnail, I don't know. The photo shoot seemed to go endlessly. I got to see some of the photos later, and one of them features Shelby soaring through the air. Today I truly got to see my husband be SS. That was adorable. I like these bonus episodes, I think, more than Ryuki's. Ryuki's was sweet too. There was a couple of like before and after they get together, but I don't know. The inner turmoil of episode 2 really melted my heart. I loved that one so much. Well, that is it for Shelby Snell's bonus episodes. That is it for Shelby altogether. Next, we'll finally be able to get to the third character of this game. Let's see, how long ago did I even start this? 2 months ago, same time as 9RIP. So it's been 2 months. Like, it's 2 months and we're only on the third guy. I feel like I'm taking these things so slow, but there's just times during the week where I just can't do anything. The day has overwhelmed me. My daughter does like half school now. She goes to school until 11:30 and then she gets out and she has virtual classes. So helping her on her homework can be exhausting sometimes. And then my husband comes home and then he wants to play games. And the time that I have my alone time at night, there's just some nights I'm just like, I just want to chill and watch my favorite YouTubers on YouTube. And so that's what I do instead. And I feel really bad, but there's just some days I just don't want to record anything, and I just want to play a game with YouTube playing in the background, which has happened a lot more often since Christmas was over. I think I feel like I'm still trying to catch up from Christmas. We just got the tree put back in the attic like last week. So I apologize at the speed that these episodes are coming out in. 2 months later, we're on Gil now. We're doing Gil next. And then we're all, like, we just finished Senna and 9RIP. So we're on the 4th guy of 9RIP. But that was coming out a lot quicker just because it was new and I was paying it more attention. I have the endings of Senna to do next. And then we'll be going down the 4th guy in 9RIP. Koyo. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.